Hello there, and thank you very much for joining me once again today. We have just had our very first major patch for Sons of the Forest, and it has brought some really big additions to the game, some new toys for us to play with, as well as some big fixes that we've been asking for. Some which you'll be glad to see, and others, some of you may not be glad to see, depending on which side of the fence you're on, I suppose. But I've picked out some of the more noteworthy changes because it's quite an extensive list to go through in one video. But if you're still interested in reading it for yourself, I have left a link in the description down below. Starting off with the new features first, I am going to rattle through them quite quickly here. So the first thing they've added is binoculars. That's going to be pretty useful for scouting ahead from high vantage points, maybe tree houses and things like that. I mean, what can you say about their binoculars? The next really cool thing that they added is hang gliders. I'm definitely looking forward to trying that one out. I don't quite know how they're going to work, but they did promise us some new transportation after all, so it's going to be really fun finding out how to get our hands on that one. And the next really major thing they added in is a mid-game boss fight for the food bunkers, so that should definitely make getting those mid-game supplies a little bit more interesting, to say the least. So you're definitely going to want to stock up on your molotovs and things like that before you head into any food bunkers, just in case. And now moving on to something I know some of you guys have been asking for. They finally added a lock. Well, it's not really a lock, it's kind of a stick that you place on the interior of a door. But I suppose a lock is a lock, but I doubt it's going to keep out any determined cannibals if they really want it in. But I suppose it's something, isn't it? Now the next item on the list is actually a really nice quality of life edition, and you can now pick up small furniture items like shelves and beds and things and move them around, replace them somewhere else, rotate them, things like that. So that's definitely going to be a welcome addition to have there. And now for the last noteworthy item on the features list, I'm just going to read this one out here. It added a new structure type, a one-sided apex. It fills the space between a leaning beam and a supporting beam, and aligns based on the leaning beam orientation, and it also fits quarter log variations to the right length automatically. So hazarding a guess, I'm going to say that's probably for the triangular roof bits. I think that's something people have really been asking for. If I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments and let me know what that actually means, because I don't really understand that too much, so that would greatly be appreciated. Now moving on to the balance section of the past notes. They did make some changes to the muddy cannibals. I'm guessing that's the little brown guys that are always jumping out of bushes and buzzing around you and generally being a nuisance. They'll now get less angry from your proximity and also in the late game, so that's actually going to be a welcome reprieve there, because those guys are really annoying. And now for the next really big fix that I know a lot of people are going to be very happy about. They finally fixed the fish traps. So now they'll actually work again and catch fish and stuff like that. Obviously, as long as it's not winter. Nothing more really to say about that one except yay! So a couple of food related balances next. I'll just group them all in together. They increase the amount of hunger you get from berries, so that's a really good change, because eating berries was kind of pointless because they just give you nothing. They also nerfed the energy drink to give you half as much hydration and less of a buff to your energy, and they also tweaked the amount of hunger and hydration for all herbs and mushrooms. So a few really good changes there that I think were definitely needed, but I think there's still some more tweaks that the food needs, so we'll see what the next few updates brings. So moving on, they also added a fix for when you go into a cave in a late game and it spawns too many enemies on you. That had some pretty hilarious results, but it definitely wasn't supposed to keep spawning enemies on you. I think that was what was happening, so that one has been patched, so that's some good news for anyone having trouble with that. And I think we're just going to skip straight ahead to fixes, because in the improvement section there's nothing really notable. So this first fix on the list is something that I know is going to cause a bit of a divide. Some people are going to be very sorry to see it go, because it's provided a lot of hilarious moments on YouTube. I'm sure you've all seen some of the clips out there. And some people are probably going to be very, very pleased that this one's gone. But sadly, or not so sadly, gone are the days of Kelvin spitefully chopping down your treehouse or any other tree-mounted structure. Sorry, Kelvin, you're going to have to find another way to enact your spiteful revenge for all the abuse and cruelty we throw at you. Well, I guess it's not really spiteful revenge, is it? It's actually fully justified. Moving on, they fixed cannibals being able to jump long distances from treetops into your windows. I can imagine that would be a pretty terrifying problem to have, but it has now been patched out, thankfully. Hopefully. Next, they fixed Kelvin being able to drop and destroy the radio. I'm guessing those are the big boom boxes he can carry around. So that's one less way he can get his revenge on us. And finally, they fixed some of the multiplayer log dupe glitches. I'm guessing that means there's probably still some out there, but I'm not really a fan of using glitches anyway. It kind of ruins the game for me. What are your thoughts on glitches? Let me know in the comments below. So obviously that was just a curated list. I wasn't going to go through the whole changelog in the video because that would make the video a little bit too long, I think, for just an update video. But if you do want to read it yourself, I will leave a link to the page in the description for you down below. And with that being said, what changes and additions are you most excited to see in the game? And what changes and additions are you disappointed not to see? Or are there any changes and additions you're looking forward to seeing in the future, perhaps? I would definitely like to hear from you in the comments below. Now that's over and done with, I'm going to get out of your hair and go back to my cave, because I'm sure you've heard quite enough of me for one day. But since you did make it this far into the video, I would be very grateful if you would consider hitting that subscribe button. And the like button too, because that's also very important. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all again very soon.